Okay, so today's lesson is a trig equations from the trig functions. So let's have some high motivation and high confidence and no fear. Now, question 1. Solve each equation for, now that's a domain. It goes from 0 to 360. It's a full circle, yeah? Part A, sine theta equals root 3 over 2. Now, we need to find the theta. That's what it says solve, okay? Now, let's have a look. Theta will be inverse sine root 3 over 2. Now, before we start, the sine theta is a positive. So that means which quadrant, guys? Remember, all station to central. So it's going to be first and the second. It's going to be positive, all right? So if you put this in your calculator, or better off just remembering the exact value, exact trig ratio values, which will give us 60 degrees. Okay, it's a 60 degrees. So I'm going to go 60 degrees. Also, second quadrant, which is 180, take away 60. Okay, so that's a first quadrant, 60 degrees, and that's a second quadrant. So my answer for theta is a 60 degrees and or 120. So they're both. Okay, next one. Now this looks okay, except it's got 2 theta there. So I'm going to go cos 2 theta, or I mean 2 equals 1. Cos 2 theta equals 1 over 2. Again, now that looks like what we want as a question. It's a good time to check which quadrant it's in. It's a positive. So it's going to be first quadrant is always positive, so it's a first. And then the last one, because all station to central. So it'll be first and a fourth. Now, before we start, that's a bit unusual. We normally will expect the theta, don't we? But it's got 2 theta. So that means it's gone around the circle twice. Okay? So our domain from 360 degrees is going to have a new domain, because it was just for theta. So 2 theta will be double, wouldn't it? So it'll be 720. Okay, so we have a new domain because of this new condition here. So what I'm going to do now, inverse half. Which angle will give us half? Cos something equals half. It'll be 60. Okay, so 2 theta equals a 60. That's the first one. And the fourth one will give me 360 minus 60. But that's just one circle, isn't it? I need to go one more time. So what happens, guys? Remember the formula? Theta 180 minus theta 180 plus theta 360 minus theta. That's the full circle, yeah? Finishes going around that anti-clockwise once. If I go to one more time, it'll be 360 plus theta. It's going up by 180. So next one will be 540 take away theta. Next one, 540 plus theta. This next one will be 720 minus theta. Okay, so I need these two and these two because it's the first and the fourth quadrant. So I've got the first quadrant and the fourth quadrant for the first round. I need to for the second round, which will be 360 plus 60 degrees. Yeah, and then I'm going around here. It'll be 720 minus 60. Okay, so I've got that. Now we want theta, not 2 theta, but before I do that, I'm going to sort of do 300 dot and then 420 dot 660 dot. Okay, so that's a 2 theta, guys, and I want theta. So therefore, theta will be, I'm going to halve it, right? Divided by 2 on everything. So I'll get 30 and 150, 210, 330. Now that will give me the answers in the range, which was, in the first place, it was 0 to 360. Okay, so that's my answer. All right, so that's not too bad. Next one. Okay, so this was actual question. Okay, so I'm just taking out the common factor, which is cos x. So when I'm taking out, I'll left with a 2 cos x minus 1 in the brackets equals to 0. Now, what that really means, I've got two cases here. You'll expect it because it's a square, so you will get two sets of solutions there. So one will be cos x equals 0. The other one will be 2 cos x minus 1 equals 0. Okay, so x equals cos, I think it was 0. And then here goes 1, cos half, cos inverse half. Okay, so I'm just doing two things all at once. Now here, well, you can think about when, but I would like to draw a graph on this. See, when will I get 0? Okay, when will I get 0? Here and here. That's a 90 and that's a 270. So 90 and 270. Okay, that's when I get 0. So that's my x. And then here, when will I get half? Yeah, before we do that, again, from here, all station to central, first and fourth is a positive because this is a positive value. So I'm going to have to think about this. So cos is half, which is 60. So I'm going to go 60, and the fourth will be 360 minus 60, which will be 60 and 300. So I've got these 4 solutions right there. So I'm going to rewrite equals from smaller to largest, 270, 300. Okay, so that's my solution. Now, next one, it's interesting because it's got cos square x. All right, so what's going to happen is cos x will be plus minus 1. You know, like we got x squared equals 4, and then x equals plus minus root 4, and then plus minus 2. So this is exactly the same thing. So cos x equals plus minus 1. All right, so again, so we'll have 2 cases, which is cos x equals 1, cos x equals minus 1. Okay, so let's have a look at this. When it's cos 1, it'll be first and fourth. When it's cos x is a positive, it's the first and fourth quadrant. When it's a negative, it'll be second and fourth. So really, when it comes to square something, you will get counted all 4 quadrants. Okay, not just 2 of them, it's a positive or negative. It's going to be all 4 because it's a plus minus. Okay, so when we do that, cos minus 1, 1, x equals, now when do we get 1? Here, when it's a 0, here, which is 360. So it'll be 0, 360. Okay, and x will be cos minus 1 is, I'm going to put minus 1 there. So that will be second and third. So we were going to go, that's minus 1 here already. So it'll be, what is it? It's 180. It's a 0, isn't it? Because cos will be 0. When it's 1, it's a 0. So second quadrant is what? 180 take away 0. And then third quadrant, 180 plus 0. So it's just going to be 180. So therefore, the x will be 0 degrees, 180 degrees, 360 degrees. So you'll get what technically it's 4 because it's counted twice. But when you write it, you don't write it same thing twice. Okay, so that will be the answer for it. Next one, question 2. Okay, question 2. Solve for this time the domain is minus 180 to 180. Okay, so when it comes to that, where we go 0 to 180 this way, right? And then this way it will be minus 180. Okay, so think carefully about this when we do it. Okay, let's have a look. So 10 squared theta equals 1 over 3. Okay, and that will be 10 theta will be plus minus 1 over root 3. Okay, so what will happen? You will get two cases, isn't it? Like we did before. So it'll be 10 theta equals 1 over root 3. 10 theta equals minus 1 over root 3. Okay, so again, in this one, positive will be 1 1/3, negative will be 2nd and 4th. Okay, so we're going to have a look at it. And the theta is what? 10 inverse. When do we get 1 over root 3? That's when it is 30. So theta will be 30. And I will go 180 plus 30 to 10. And then here, minus 10. Because it's a 30, but we're not going to count it 30 because it's a 2nd and 4th. So it'll be 180, take away 30, 150. And then 360, take away 30. Will be 330. Okay. Now we are going from 100 up to 180, so I'm not going to count this. I'm not going to count this. So we got this. Okay. This is for only for the positive from here to here. Oops, here to here. Okay. Now we have to think about this part. Okay. So negative part, we need to think about exactly the same, but it's a negative part we have to think. So negative part will be, what is it that on third quadrant of the negative part is minus 30, isn't it? And then we need to think about 360 30. Okay, and also I need to think about, we got to go through this 1 over root 3, 1 over minus 1 over root 3 again with the negative part. Okay, going clockwise. This is anti-clockwise. I'm going to the clockwise on this one, so it'll be minus 30 as well. And then on the third quadrant, so we all do that and then see what happens on that one. One will be minus 50, and this one minus 33, and this one 30, this one. And I'm going to cancel that out because I don't need that. I'm just going to go there. So we're doing this all over again with when it was a negative. Okay, so all I've got here is this. So the answer, final answer, will be plus minus 30 degrees, also plus minus 150 degrees. Okay, so that's what it is. All right, that was a bit tricky, but I hope that you understood there and then watch more than once. Okay, solve for back to normal, 0 to 2 pi, but this time is in the radian form, pi form. So be careful you answer your the x values in a pi form. So let's have a look. This looks like a quadratic, isn't it? Well, it is. So I'm going to go, if I did 1 and 2, and then 1, 1, go minus, plus. Now, you just do normal. If you wish, you can do, and then just do this first, and then put it in, instead of a, put it in cos x if you want. So you just normal factorization happening. So if you do that, I will get like this. Okay, so that means I will get two cases again equals 0, or plus 1 equals 0. So in this case, 1 minus 1. So therefore, so in this case it'll be that, in this case it'll be that. Okay, so we need to think about that. So when do we get 1? Again, I'm just gonna 0 and then 360, which will be 0 degrees and 2 pi, remember, in pi form. And the half, again, cos minus half. Now this one, I will write it like this, so that it'd be negative value, which will be second and third. And this will be roughly 60 degrees, which is pi over 3. So, but it's in the second and third quadrant, so to be, I need to write pi over 3 and pi plus pi over 3, okay, which is 2 pi over 3 and 4 pi over 3. So my final answer is 0, 2 pi over 3, 4 pi over 3, 2 pi. Okay, so that's my answer for this one. All right, the last one. Okay, that looks a bit, it looks like quadratic, but I can't really solve for quadratic because they're in a different terms. So I need to change sine square, okay, sine square in terms of cos. And we got this trig identity, don't we? Okay, so which will be sine square x plus, oh, I don't know why it's going blurry. Okay, I hope it's okay. Yep, that's better. Sorry about that. Equals 1. So I'm going to change in terms of sine square x equals 1 minus cos square x. So I'm going to put that one into here. Okay, so I'm going to go 1 minus cos square x plus 2 cos x minus 2 equals 0. Okay, and then I'm going to move everything into the other side, or I'm going to times by minus. So I don't want this negative. So let's do one thing at a time. Minus 1. And then if I times by minus 1, minus 2 cos x plus 1 equals 0. Okay, so that's not too bad. Now that's a perfect square, guys. Yeah, it's like a minus 2a plus a square equals 0. Yeah, that's a perfect square. So that's not too bad. And so that means cos x minus 1 equals 0. 1. So that's x equals cos inverse 1. Okay, when do we get 1? Again, I like to remember things in the graph. So it'll be 2 pi. Okay, so it'll be 0 and 2 pi. So x will be 0 and 2 pi. Well, that's it. Well done.